Wow, what another incredible session about fear of flying, about flight anxiety. This poor lady has just, this has come out of nowhere, out of the blue. Literally a year ago, suddenly had a panic attack on a long haul flight. I've flown all over the world, been to Australia on her own, and yet this crippling fear struck her out of nowhere, and she doesn't know, couldn't find out where it had come from. So she's done the books, she's done the courses, done the TikToks, done the videos, done everything that she could possibly do, having therapy elsewhere as well, and still this fear was intense with her. So we actually went through some regression with her. What I mean by regression, we go to the root, the reason, the why, the cause, the root cause to why she's got this fear. And a lot of the time, because it comes out of the blue, out of nowhere, it's got nothing to do with the fear of flying. So she had the fear that something bad would always happen. It was always on the negative side rather than positive side, although it was the what ifs. She even sensed that there was mean people around her all the time on this particular flight. And she felt very much that she was living in the past of depression, but also living in the future of anxiety. And she was never living in the present, going with the flow, living in the present day. So it came back to when she was growing up, and she's one of four, so quite a large family, one of four, where she felt like all the neighbours were against her parents, and they were always feeling victimised, where she never felt safe, where she was unhappy, upset. She was always fearful, and she always felt like there was always against her and her family, even though they did nothing wrong. And there was a point where the neighbours all got on, but suddenly, because there was an involvement of a certain piece of land, and they felt that everything was against them. So it had gone from being really, really good, where she remembers going on holiday and travelling, and it was all calm and happy and having fun with the siblings, even to the point where she spoke about it was, funnily enough, we were always piss taking out of each other, and we got along because there was four of us. We were weird family, but there was four of us. But we just had to laugh about it because she was one girl with three boys as well. So they used to make silly songs, enjoy going to Spain and France, even describe like to detail certain things that she took on holiday with her and the clothes that she was wearing on this holiday, because she was remembering the positive things about travelling. But then all of a sudden, it was out of nowhere, this negativity seemed to creep in. And she was remembering the positivity about her neighbours and then the negativity about her neighbours. She was remembering the positivity about her holidays and then the negativity about her holidays. She's got that to and froing happening, the what ifs, the what is, and it was starting to really affect her in her daily life as well. Her words, it just wasn't worth it. A shit situation was just getting worse and worse and worse, because before this incident over a piece of land with her family, her mum and dad got on great, and it seemed to have destroyed their marriage. So she felt like it was coming from out of the blue, out of nowhere, starting to make sense now, that her parents started to argue, and that's all she seemed to remember after this land part. And on this piece of land that they had, a field, there was bikes, cars, all transportation items, things that you would travel in, were all on this to bring joy, to bring happiness. But actually, on the flip side of it, it was bringing sadness, it was bringing stress, anxiety, shame, because they'd bought this piece of land to actually have fun on it and just be kids, yet it had caused a massive argument with the neighbours. She just wanted to put a nail in the coffin. What a wonderful metaphor to come up with. So that's what we did with her fear of flying. We put a nail in the coffin of her fear of flying, basically, because it just wasn't worth it. A shit situation wasn't getting worse all the time. She needed to not be bothered by it. So she came up with her own solutions, which I love it when they do this, because your words are powerful to your mind. My opinion doesn't matter. I love flying, but I want you to fly. Remember, my joy was taken away. I want to gift you back with your joy. So we changed her wording to, when she thought something bad was about to happen, she decided that she would ask herself a question: what were you going to do about it? And snap herself out of it. Her words exactly: ask yourself a question. What are you going to do about it? Snap myself out of it. Change it. Her words. Couldn't come up with a better solution myself. But remember, she created this belief, this story. She can uncreate it too. But it needs to be in her words because they're powerful in her mind. So she could just let it go over her mind. And then she came up with this analogy of just like a Formula One car where the aerodynamics, the air goes over it. Funny enough, that's like a bit like a plane, isn't it, Vic? And I was like, yeah, it is really, isn't it? Letting her process that subconscious knot, as I call it. Remember, I call it a knot where we tie the knot like that. All I do is untie the knot and let go of that knot that's keeping you stuck, trapped, stuck in the past. So that's exactly what we did with her 3 sentences as she came up with it. So she decided she needed to trust herself first and not let temptation in, because it wasn't worth it. And once we unravelled the trust issue as well, which was very personal, I'm not particularly going to talk about that in this instant, but it was instigated with the trust over this piece of land back in her childhood. There were several incidents afterwards just ramped it up really and made her feel more fear, more upset, made her feel not good enough, not worthy, because trust a lot of the time does make us feel that. It makes us feel shame, it makes us feel ashamed, and we carry around a guilt. And when we let go of that, that's when we can put the trust back in our own gut feeling, our own intuition, our own sixth sense, let's call it, and give ourselves a voice again, so we don't stay stuck, so we don't feel trapped, so we can escape in a good way. Escape as in flying, going on holiday, because she's got a perfect way that she can do it now. It was a long session today, but it was so worth it. Look at it. I've been in session for a long time today, and it's so worth it because I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm buzzing as well because Woody, the therapy buddy, my therapy dog, was part of the session as well. That's a choice that the people who come to see me in person can have as well. So Woody has been part of the therapy session today, and he absolutely knew when to just sit on at her feet and give this wonderful lady comfort as well. She's gone away with the love of dogs because honestly, my gingerness, my favourite child in the family, you know, I've got a son that I love and adore, and a daughter that I love and adore, and they always pick on the dog because they say he's my favourite child, because he kind of is. He's my favourite gingerness. I have a ginger Labrador who just brings joy to every situation during the therapy because he is a therapy dog as well. So he changed her mind on several things as well, which is wonderful to see because he's a big part of my therapy, whether it's a choice whether you want it or not, but Woody can come and be part of our therapy if you come and see me in person. So yeah, what a better way to leave it. Let it go over my head, just like a Formula One car, the aerodynamics, just like an aircraft, a plane, the wind, the air goes over it. I can trust myself so I can trust other people and feel safe and let go of the anger that she'd held on to, the anger because of her parents arguing, where they weren't arguing before this piece of land situation. She let go of that anger, and that anger represented to her was a red, smooth anger. She was no longer letting that temptation win, not to go with it. She was letting go of it. So I'm Victoria Ann Spencer Kibble from VASK Therapy. I'm sitting back, relaxing, sitting in my aeroplane chair here, ready, sit back, relax, enjoying today, ready to take flight. Because that's exactly what I want to gift you with. If you're suffering with any flight anxiety and you want to do so, take the control back, go on holiday, get rid of that holiday stress, anything, you can ask me anything, because remember, I get hold of the stress, the root cause, the reason, the why that's causing the inflammation that's getting worse. That's the inflammation here that's giving you a symptom. And the symptom in this case was just the fear of flying that we have now let go of.